Hi, I'm Spook Handy, and I would like to tell you a story. It was October 12th, 2003. I was invited to perform at a small festival in Beacon, New York. The person who invited me was Pete Seeger, and it was a day that changed my life. Now, I had heard of Pete before, but I didn't know much about him until about 2 months earlier when he sent me a postcard asking if I could play at the festival. In the weeks that followed, I did a lot of research, and I discovered that Pete had written or made popular many of the songs we learned in kindergarten, songs that I was singing in my own concert. And he was the reason why we all heard "This Land Is Your Land" and knew about Woody Guthrie. And he helped popularize the civil rights anthem, "We Shall Overcome." Pete was a man of courage and conviction. He stood up for workers, for women, and for the environment, and he stood against bigotry and the Vietnam War. Pete Seeger was the soul of American folk music and the conscience of the American ideal. But that is not what impressed me so deeply. It was that October day in 2003. I arrived at the festival expecting to meet a larger-than-life celebrity. Instead, I met a down-to-earth, yet powerful soul, full of wisdom, modesty, and dedication. Now, of course, I didn't entirely understand the full measure of Pete's character on one visit. But over the next 10 years, and the 100 or so times that we met, performed together, or talked on the phone, it became more and more clear. Pete was dedicated to the principle that older people with power and experience should make a little room for younger people with fresh ideas. But he also helped younger people learn the different ways of their elders and how to adapt them to the ever-changing times we live in. And he encouraged all of us to build on our successes instead of trying to tear everything down and start over from scratch. Boy, could we use Pete in this world today. He turned his concerts into community events with songs and stories that were filled with pearls of wisdom and references to the tools that we have to shape ourselves and shape our world. Now, this May 2019 would have been Pete's 100th birthday. And I'm inviting you to help me mark and celebrate this anniversary. I am putting out an album of songs that express what I think is some of Pete's most profound wisdom. Some of the songs are popular, some of them are obscure, but all of them are as relevant to today's world as they have ever been. In 2016, I put out my first tribute to Pete to show that his tradition of using songs as a tool to build and nurture community is alive and well. This album is going to take a deeper look at the wisdom and philosophy that runs through Pete's music and through the way that he lived. Some of the finest musicians around are already helping to record this album, but we also need your help. Record companies and record sales these days are playing a smaller and smaller role in the lives of musicians, so we need to turn to our community for support and for partnership. On this page, you will see the many different levels on which you can get involved. Pete taught us that sometimes the best way to accomplish something is with group effort, and that's what it's going to take to get this album recorded and out into the world. So how can you help? Well, through your support, of course, but also spread the word. Tell your friends and your family. Talk about it at work or at school or at your church or your synagogue. Post it on Facebook. Tweet it on Twitter. And for your help, we have some wonderful gifts. They range from a digital download of the CD to a concert in your home. And there are other creative ideas available as well. You will also know that you helped get this music into the hands of DJs, music media, and music lovers around the world. And as a result, maybe more people will know about Pete Seeger and hear his message. We are already doing our part. Please help us by doing yours. Thank you for helping to keep the flame alive.